and get them out in white and just pour it over the gray pieces that I painted blue, right? And and do something like that. Maybe like that's going to be an expensive endeavor too. It's cheaper for me to just set it on the shelf and enjoy it,
Oh, I hear you on that one. That's how I am with that one I got from Jesse. But with that, welcome to Galactic Gumbo episode number 52. Just me and Dakota, as usual, pretty much. But
just the boys.
And we would have done last night, but your mother wanted to go out to eat last night. So where did y'all end up going?
We went grab some Japanese hibachi. So.
Oh, you bastard!
Yeah, we didn't go to one of the sit down and they cook in front of you places. So
okay.
I know that's the kind you like. Me, man, like me, I like to get all of it immediately, because I'm fat. So we went to the not so doing tricks and stuff in front of you place.
There's a little restaurant on the way to Gracie's school, and it was called Sullivan's Diner for years, and then apparently the couple had health issues, so they shut down. But they've been rebuilding it and adding on to it. And Sarah told me the other day that
there's going to be another hibachi
called Yum Yum Hibachi.
Dude, we got a new place to try out then.
I think it actually was a food truck somewhere locally.
Oh, really?
Well, they had like this, man, I swear it looks like a 15-foot cooler on. I mean, they built a deck behind the building because there's no ground. So they built a deck 15 feet out to put their cooler on there.
Oh my God. Which, I mean, they got to have. But yeah, like maybe I'm guessing RoboCon is going to be before your show again next year. So we'll just I'll just make sure I drive up extra early and we'll get some hibachi before we head out.
No, I think I'm doing mine before Pete will be doing his if he ever announces it. I need to do it after mine so I have a little extra cash. So yeah, Pete hasn't announced his yet. I was really hoping he would. I
believe that's happening very soon.
I hope you.
Nothing to quote me on, but I believe we're about to see some activity from our friends at Night Shining Inc.
Well, as soon as you know something, you get us a hotel room.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I'm not sleeping on the cot. And I'm not cuddling next to you, so you better get 2 beds.
Well, dude, hopefully, like, so you and I, like, we know the hotel, right? And we're not gonna say that on there. But like, if it's anything like it was whenever we stayed at that hotel at some point in the past, then I think, like, honestly, I think we could probably, grab them now,
Oh, probably. Probably at a better rate.
Because those rates were so good. Mm-hmm. And they weren't even like special, they weren't like promoted or anything, but it was just super reasonable for all that space. So,
well, speaking of that, hopefully Pete says something soon because I look forward to that. And worst case scenario, we could just drink in the lobby and play that Beast Wars game again. I'll be happy.
Mm-hmm. I'll bring that card game.
I actually really liked it. We didn't get to play it last when you came up for my show. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, we spent too much of our time drinking in the lobby, like drinking in the lobby and playing with prototypes.
Yeah.
So Matt killed me with that shit. Like I had the because I'd bought the first edition Prime from you, and so I have G2 Breakdown and then Night Glider prototype and the Cheetor prototype, and he goes straight for the like production Prime. Optimus Prime. I was like, man, that's a real Hasbro man right there.
That it is. That's why he's called Hell Hasbro. So what have you gotten the last couple of weeks?
Well, the only thing I think of note. Well, I'll take that back. I got a couple of things of note, and we'll start with the oldest that I can remember. I got the Haya Toys 3 3/4 inch or 1/18 scale, I should say. Red Hood from the Injustice 2 video game that they made, and dude, if like I know you're kind of getting rid of some of your Joes and your 3 3/4 and stuff like that, but if you still have some 3 3/4 left over, you still have like that sort of display. Look into those Haya Toys 1/18 scale things, man. Thing was like $20, but the articulation is incredible. I'm actually I got a review that'll go up next Saturday because I kind of want to start doing just regular action figure reviews. But it's phenomenal. Like today I reviewed, I think, the Badlands Vigilante from John from Chicken Fried Toys from Dime Novel. Yeah, I finally got that review up. But anyways, that Red Hood dude, it's like super detailed, super painted. Like the articulation is crazy. It's got an upper chest like hinge ball joint, and it's got like a lower waist hinge ball joint. It's more like a ball joint, kind of like John's figures are. And then it's like swivels plus outward swivels at the hips, so you get all kinds of crazy movement. You got the hands are actually on tiny little ball sockets, and like one of mine pops off kind of easy, but it's like, it's a ball joint, so it's easy to fix. It's easy to tighten that up. And then like it's got ankle rockers. It's got great balance, man. Like I took those pictures and posted them on Twitter of him doing like one-legged stances and things like that. Which if you anyone who collects G.I. Joe stuff or anything that's in 3 3/4 knows how it is pretty much impossible to get any of those toys to stand on one foot, but you can do it with that Red Hood figure. It's incredible. It's phenomenal, and it's only $20. It was like $23.99 shipped with Big Bad Toy Stores flat $4 shipping or whatever.
Right.
And they got some other stuff like that. They got Batman from Injustice and Superman from Injustice. I think they got Aquaman, a couple other characters, but they also do stuff like Predator, and I think they got some Alien, and like, dude, I want that company to just get all the licenses and just like make everything. So really awesome there, really awesome stuff there. The other thing that, and it comes with a stand too, by the way. Like I keep forgetting about that, like a stand that you don't need. But anyways, I also got the third-party Transmetal 2 Dragon Megatron, the masterpiece one from JX Figures, and that thing is absolutely phenomenal. It is huge, and it is shiny.
You got that as a promotion, or what is it? Did you get it for review purposes?
Yes, it was for review purposes. They let me keep it. Obviously, it was like I didn't have to pay for it per se. Although, like I will be the first to admit, like I did come out of pocket on getting it shipped to me, because I'm not affiliated with a retailer, so I don't have a deal to where like they work out that cost. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like I really, having that, I really respect, and like I don't know, it just kind of like I look at the different reviewers out there that aren't sponsored by a channel that do get do the grind to get early stuff like that do have to come out of pocket. A lot of people will think, oh, you got it for free, you're gonna say like great things about it. Like that's not the case, because like free isn't always free. Like I didn't pay for the figure itself, but I paid for expedited shipping from China to the United States, and it actually cost me more than had I just gotten the figure and waited like everybody else.
Oh wow!
So it's something I think a lot of people really should keep in mind. Like no one's really open about that aspect. And it's one thing though. I think it's one thing if a retail company is supplying these figures and the reviewers are still kind of keeping them for free, then I think at that point, you can kind of be like, well, you're going to have a biased outlook on it because you got it 100% free.
All right.
So anyways, yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's like right now, no kidding. I had some friends over, and I walked them into the room, and it was the first thing that popped out to them. They were like, "Wow, it looks like a shiny ruby in place of all these other brightly colored pieces." Because I collect Beast Wars, and I got the BotCon stuff, and all the BotCon stuff just looks good on shelves. They always pick from a lot of color palette. So
right.
It's incredible, man. Like I still have like just nothing but nice things to say about it. It's crazy. Like whenever we meet up, whenever you get my refractors and my impactor and Mirage in, I'm gonna bring that thing up just so you can kind of like check it out. It's incredible.
Yeah, we'll definitely just be sitting in the restaurant playing with toys and eating Chinese.
Dude.
They were like,
exactly.
I wish these two fat fucks to get the hell out of here.
Right?
We need to find all you can eat place. So we can
we really do.
Play our toys and eat our leisure.
I don't know of too many up there in Texarkana. The only place I know was like the Mexican restaurant we usually stopped at, and there's a half-ass okay Chicago pizza place there. Like it's not Chicago good, but it's okay.
Yeah. We'll find
and then there's the sushi restaurant there. They do some hibachi, but it's called Fuji Kim. And it's okay, man. Like it's definitely more sushi oriented than it is like, hibachi, like inspired, but right. It's all right too. I didn't hate on that at all.
Let's see. The last couple of weeks, I haven't gotten very much. I got a Omega Supreme in.
Ooh, big boy. We both got big boys in then.
Yeah, I got it. I have not transformed it because I've watched a couple of reviews on it, and there's nothing wrong with transforming it. It's just, I think maybe in my old age I was too lazy.
Well, okay, so is it that, or do you feel like you just enjoy it so like more in robot mode? Like in the end, it's going to be a robot mode. Yeah.
See, I kind of want to transform it just once in base to say, yeah, I did it. But I've seen so many videos of it in base. I'm good. I don't need to put it in my base mode. I'm good where it's at. So I'll just,
See, I think like if I was collecting, like all of Siege or all of that kind of G1 mainline, I should say. Yeah. I think what I would have done is I think I would like Omega and and like even Trypticon and Metroplex and Fort Max. Like I think I would almost permanently keep them in their base modes. I think I'd make the exception for Fort Max just because we know Scorponok's coming, and I think in a display it'd be cool to have Fort Max and Scorponok fighting. But I think it would be cooler having Trypticon and Omega and Metroplex in base modes. But even then, like Omega and Devastator duking it out on that display too would be really cool. But like that way, like you at least have some stuff in base mode, so it looks like there's actually kind of like a battle city sort of thing. I think that would be cool. Like I've always been really tempted just to like commandeer another room in the house just for a crazy, almost diorama like display with all these mainline toys since 2014 with the combiners and the headmasters and all the other stuff, the stuff we've been getting out of Siege. Like Siege is such a tempting line for me because like I look at it and I appreciate a lot of it despite only cherry picking.
Right.
So it's one of those.
And then the only other thing I got, which I know you don't care, is some pops. I got my holiday pops. I got those today. And then yesterday I got my Marvel Collector's Court box from Amazon, which had the 80th anniversary versions of Thanos and Loki in it. And
sweet.
And then, of course, the holiday pop one was actually Thanos in a Christmas sweater, Rocky Raccoon, Baby Groot, and Captain Snowman.
Have you seen the Thanos pic? I can't remember if I put it in the Twitter chat or not. You talking about like Thanos in a Christmas sweater?
Yeah, I'm gonna send this to you. Christmas sweater on.
I'm gonna send this to you over Messenger. This is a different kind of Christmas sweater of Thanos.
Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness.
Bro, somebody for anyone who's not seeing, somebody took like movie Thanos, right? Like did some artwork with him and put him in nothing but a thong, a gold chained thong.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. So, like, some of my buddies from like the MPSP crew, our buddy Lowry photoshopped Russ the Muss's face on it, And I saved that shit too because it's totally a background. But I'm gonna send you the one with the rest of space on it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I just sent it through. It's so funny. So, dude, like what I'm telling you, like when this picture hit the groups, man, like I was crying, bro. Like I was hollering. I'm still holding my sides over it, man. It was so funny.
That is actually really funny. I know we talked about it a couple of times. We'll talk about it real quick. Let me. As of right this minute, Unicron is at, it needs 124 backers.
Yes, dude.
So yeah, it's going to fund. Here's the big thing on all of it is that let's just call a spade a spade. It was not going to fund the first time around. It wasn't going to happen. Hasbro got their pants down, and they have reached out everywhere they can and thrown out everything they can to make it more appealing to the average collector.
I think to a degree you may be right because like whenever they got the extension or they announced the extension rather, they still hadn't opened it up to the UK and the European Union guys and gals. Right. Granted, they didn't do that until like a week or two ago, anyways.
So my opinion was they had no intentions of opening it up to them. I think they realized there wasn't 8,000 people in the U.S. willing to do it.
Well, it wasn't just U.S. It was U.S., Japan, China, and Australia. All those territories were all part of the initial 30-day. First kind of backing period, but here's the deal. So here's the deal. Let's get in, since we're talking about numbers, we're talking about facts. Here's some factual numbers. So the barge was announced on February 17th or something like that, right? Which was Toy Fair that year, and then the backing period opened March 13th. So there was a 30-day just promotional buildup for it. It wasn't, Unicron was dropped out of random on a Monday. I didn't hear any word from it anywhere else. First I caught it was in Facebook groups look at what Pulse just dropped. So there was no month-long build-up. There was no rumor as to what's working. It's oh, hey, here's this, Cookie Monster. Well, where's our Transformers? And then a week later, oh, there's our Transformers. So Star Wars at least had 30 days to kind of start that saving period, right? Give or take. And then, then that's whenever they knew what it was going to cost. And, I think that's when they gave them 30 days to fund it. It was either 30 or 45. So Unicron had how many days were added to Unicron after
36?
Was it 36? Okay, so you're looking, yeah, and again, I wish Rick was here to tell me that if the barge had 30 or 45, because if the barge
had 45.
Right, that's what I thought. So Unicron has actually had, in the grand scheme of things, less time being pushed and promoted than the sail barge did. The sail barge, I mean, they dropped it at New York Toy Fair. You know what I mean? So there was a lot there, I think, that a lot of people just aren't accounting for. This particular Unicron has only had 30 or 62 days or something like that worth of just being out there for people to, scrounge around and save up and what have you.
Right. But so if you think about it though, look at what they're giving with it. They're giving you the chin, they're giving you the Galvatron, they're giving you a hot rod, they're giving you the Autobot
space shuttle.
They're giving you they redid the hands.
They made the head detachable so you can set it on that stand that ultimately you can also put that shuttle on.
Right. And so they were really close to the funding ending. So that kind of tells you that none of this was going to happen.
Well, okay, so the shuttle was a last minute addition, the Autobot shuttle, and the reason that is because they figured that they could just add it to the tooling pieces of like the kind of orange or yellow on Unicron,
Mm-hmm.
and it wouldn't really cost them anything extra to do it. So it's just something they were able to put on. I think the finger redesigns was a pretty good call just to make this late in the game, because it's still in that resin prototype stage. There's still so many changes that can be made. Like the removable head, like you get the if you want the movie chin or you want the season 3 chin, and then like I don't know if you saw the pictures of the tiny little Galvatron and Rodimus. Like you remember when we got the blown up images of the Galvatron, how it looked all grainy and all that?
Right.
Dude, do you know how small those things are?
Mm-hmm.
Like just looking at pictures, they look like they're about the size of like the head of a pin. Like super small. They're so super small. But I think adding that little Rodimus was a good move too. And they're using those Titans Return designs, which again I think is a good move, because this is this Unicron is definitely meant as a chug classics whatever. So I feel like those were great design choices. I think something that would be awesome that I don't think will happen is them, like, maybe instead of the Autobot shuttle, they should have included Galvatron's ship, the Revenge, and maybe they still will. Maybe they'll be able to they'll be able to put that on with like the that kind of gray, bluish, purplish pieces that Unicron has. And I think that's something that they should do, that they should utilize. And it may be like a surprise thing, but some folks I think are wanting, like I think our buddy Dalton, he was just like, oh, it'd be really cool to get like a Legends or Micromaster like Kranix or whatever. And I'm like, no, bro, give me a deluxe. Like this thing's $620. I'm not gonna, I mean, like obviously I'm gonna take what I can get because I funded it, but I want a deluxe Kranix, and they can repaint that and release it as Arbless in whatever line is out at the time. And I think that would be cool, because like the Barge got Yak Face, as like a super, as like a totally surprise thing. So I think
and then
I think
I was going to say Dalton said that it was 81 days total for Unicron.
81.
Yeah, 45 intentionally. 45.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He they did give him a 45-day period. I thought they gave him a 30-day period at first. So, okay, 81 for Unicron versus 30 and 40. So, I mean, it's basically about the same amount of time, between Unicron and the Barge. Like, I think that's fair. I think they should have, I definitely think they should have teased it. But like, I also know, like, you talking about like the European backers and things like that. Whenever the Barge was getting funded, they looked at options to fund it for international, and they weren't able to do it, to figure it out, because like nobody, like the ship, they just couldn't figure out shipping it from them to those international markets. But I think with Unicron, like we see that through Hasbro Taobao and GameStop Australia and Takara Mall, that they were able to essentially like set up shipments to these countries and their kind of local warehouses. And it just took a long time for Hasbro UK or Hasbro Europe to get something situated and set up and done through a local shop over there, with all the drama that surrounds that. Right. So I think a lot of that is definitely looking more at the territorial Hasbro offices as to whether or not like what that what the reasoning behind that, and like laying blame accordingly. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
it's something we were going to talk about if we got the other guys on, but I guess I'm just not that fun to be around, I guess. But,
well, I mean, we can talk about it. Like I can
Oh, we're going to talk about
how ridiculous it is, but we can talk about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, Star Wars is trash. I can't stand it.
I wasn't going to say that.
I will. But I mean, the point is that yesterday was Force Friday. Supposed to be midnight releases everywhere, and a lot of places didn't even open. They weren't open. My Walmart, that they put the whole clearance section for the Marvel Legends figures, is Star Wars. Went by there yesterday or today. One that was today, and I walked over there. They didn't even bother putting up the pegs. They just took part of the display apart and threw it up on a shelf.
Oh, wow.
So they didn't put all that. These stores don't give two shits about you fucking Star Wars nerds, okay? Mm-hmm. Because they don't care. These managers, I've delivered to stores where there's supposed to be displays in certain locations, and they're like, no, I don't want it on my floor. Put it in the back. So toy collectors who know that stuff's supposed to be on the floor, these managers don't give a shit. They're going to do what they want to. And that shit's going to sit in the back, and they're not going to care whether you 40-year-old virgin nerd is going to get your little Skywalker figure.
Or they'll trickle it out like it's part of normal stock, and it's just like whoever happens to be there happens to be lucky to get it. But that's like, you know, that's like our buddy Josh. Like he went to his Walmart and he grabbed what did he get? Like one of them off the shelf, and then an employee came by and picked the other ones up for online orders.
Well, no, from what I didn't hear that from what Josh says. One of the Walmarts or wherever he went to, they brought the display out there while he was there, and it had already been picked over.
Yeah, that was what happened. I think like whenever he went back for the second time, but the first time he went through, he was able to grab one, and then a Walmart associate came and like grabbed the rest off the shelf for the online orders. People that had just that weren't going to waste all their time and gas, you know, traveling, but like they just so happened to sit by the computer at the right time and order whatever they wanted to order, and then the employee just came and grabbed them off the shelf. But then there was that second time, like you said, that, you know, people in the back picked over, obviously what was, you know, hot and selling for great money. And, you know, but what are you going to do? You know, like there's, you know, I think that's something that I don't know if Amazon participated in Force Friday. And I think they did. Because I saw a lot of people, you know, said they had Amazon orders, and they were like, well, Tuesday I'm just going to sit on my living room floor and, you know, that's going to be that. And like, I understand there's that kind of camaraderie and almost competitive level of like going out and fighting other people in your area, like for stuff you want. But like me, dude, like I'm way more likely just to grab it from Amazon and wait a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like, I think, did Rick travel like 3 or 4 hours or something like that?
I'm not sure how far he traveled. All I know is that he went to multiple stores, got almost everything he wanted. I walked to a GameStop today, and just about everything except for like one item was sitting there on the shelf.
Wow. So
it just depends on where you're at.
I didn't even check my places locally. I bet it would be hilarious though if for whatever reason I just randomly went to a local Walmart, because I think that carbonized or those carbonized figures are the ones that are really selling. Like I think there's a carbonized Mandalorian or something like that. I don't even know what it means because it looks just like the regular release of the Mandalorian.
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah, you know, I don't know what's special about it other than a box. But that's another thing, man. Like it's just like basically like an early thing of a figure that's going to be in mass released in like a week or two, that they're going to be all over the place, and they're just going to be in a normal Black Series box, you know?
Yeah, see, and this is what, you know, and it's kind of on the same subject of not putting the stuff out, you know, and this goes for anything you collect, is that you know it's there. They've shown you in the system that it's there, but they don't want to go get it. They want to be a dick about it. And, you know, it's kind of like the meme I saw once where Target is like the what's it called? The street date police.
The street date police, yeah.
But when it comes to the street date, then they're a bunch of blind motherfuckers because they can't find that shit in the back. Or goes, oh, we can't find it back there. Yeah, you and every other store around here can't find it in the back.
Because somebody grabbed it, put it out. Somebody else went to go check out, and they got the one person at checkout that was like, whatever, you can just, I'll just punch in a code and it's sold. There you go. So, it's really like roulette as to whether or not you're going to get street date police or you're going to get someone who's just like wants you out of their line so they can just go back to like texting or chilling or whatever. Cause like they don't pay those people to give a shit about street dates. Like, let's be real.
I went to Target last night, and this is, again, it's about a pop, but I was looking and I saw 3 different pops on the shelf. All of them were street dated.
Wow.
2 of them were for release today. One's a release tomorrow. And I'm like, I know they're not going to, I didn't want them for myself or anything like that, but I just saw them and I'm like, yeah, someone's going to get this and walk up to the front. They're going to get told no and get taken away. But that's what it goes back to, people not reading cases where it's plain as day says, do not put on the shelf until this date.
Right. Or they're going to take the gamble and they're going to get the employee that's just really cool about it and just, sells it to them.
Usually Target, you can't buy, you're not supposed to be able to bypass when it says street dated, but it doesn't mean you can't ring up something else at the same price for them and sell them that way.
That's true. Well, like going and grabbing something else off the shelf, or even if you're just going through because I know a lot of people just go through self-checkout and just scan whatever is, already dated and just kind of set it off to the side and put whatever they grabbed off the shelf that is street dated and put it in the bag. Like, I think
what's funny.
What's up?
Is what you talk about street date again. Is there's people reporting how, I went to Target and I saw a Springer and Starscream, but they wouldn't sell it to me because it's street dated. That was here just yesterday or the day before yesterday.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. But didn't you already got like Springer through your wholesale, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, I haven't gotten them yet, but.
Oh, okay. Like, I remember you said that like you got mine, so that's kind of all I was like really, but like I thought you'd already gotten them like in or whatever.
Well, no, the reason I did it, I went and bought it at the store was because it's a whole case assortment, and sometimes those whole case assortments get canceled like that Optimus Primal did, or a Power of the Primes. So I was like, well, I'll just take. I said I don't see very many of these on the shelf, so I saw 2 of them. And I was like, I'm gonna take both of them. So I grabbed both of them and just cut the receipt. I get my order and I'll just take those 2 back.
Oh, okay, yeah, then that works out.
Then I'm good. But yes, yeah. I mean, street date distribution with Walmart, Target, anyone is a joke. It really is. I mean, and even I'm even want to throw Funko out there because even though I know you don't deal with Funko, you don't care about Funko, but when there are street dated items, it's like tomorrow. Like, for example, there are 5 Chrome Jokers coming out from Arkham Asylum, and they're Target exclusives. Well, I called today to check on it, and the woman was like, well, we only have 6 boxes of these, so it's going to be 1 per person. And I tried for the life of me, tried to explain to her, there are 6 boxes. Each one, there's at least 5 of them that are different color. So you can't limit me one of all of them because they have their own separate UPCs.
Right.
So and this is the other thing Target does, which is good, sometimes bad's another, is that they're like, yeah, we're not going to allow someone to come here and buy the whole entire case. I agree with that 100%. But when there are 6 of the same character but different colors, you can't limit that to 1.
Right. So that I do agree with. Like, I wonder if they did that with like the prototype Vaders that came out recently with the 5 POA. I wonder if they did that. Granted, because like that, even though like they were all packed in an entire case, they all had different color limbs. Like the idea is you get all of them, and then if you're good at taking those things apart, like you actually get what would be an actual, not necessarily an actual prototype, but it would be like what the test shot colors would be, that kind of same single color. And you would be able to like do that with it. But like something else, like, like I think all this could be avoided. Granted, like I get anything mainline, anything that you can get through your wholesale. Like I typically just order it through you, and then I wait until we just meet up and I got a decent chunk of stuff at your house. So that way, like because like mainline, I don't have to have it first or immediately or whatever. It's mainline, like it's there's an abundance of it. I'm sure I could go to my Target or my Walmart right now locally and find probably half the stuff I have at your house. I'll be honest, I don't even know what all shit I have there. I know all I have is like Springer, and then I got some stuff on the way. I probably got more stuff there. I have no clue.
No, you got Springer's all you got.
Okay, yeah, like that's the thing though. Like I can't remember because it's like I'll just get stuff from you. You know what I mean?
I want to throw this out there real quick. Chris Rooks, one of my friends I know, he said he had no lines, and I was able to get everything I wanted, including their exclusive figure. The exclusive figures have a special paint wash to match the box. Now,
okay, I guess that's the carbonized thing.
That has to be.
Okay, yeah. At that point, like, yeah, then I'm not going to criticize that if it has an a unique paint job.
Now, Chris, what part of Missouri are you? I know he's in I thought he was in St. Louis. I know Rick, I think, went to. He said I think he said he went to his capital, the capital city. Capital city of Virginia, whatever that is.
Yeah, Richmond, I think.
Okay, so, you gotta think Richmond's a huge ass fucking city, so they gotta have way more people than what Shreveport and Little Rock area have. But I mean,
you would think
my Target, it was cleaned out pretty good. The GameStop is the one I was surprised to see a lot of stuff in.
A couple of people have said that like their GameStops were like packed to the brim.
No, people were not thinking GameStop. That's for sure. I was out for Friday.
Well, that's the thing, man. A lot of people didn't. Like a lot of people still don't consider like GameStop is where like you go to get like some collectible figures in your area because they carry the stuff now. Like Best Buy is another one. Even Best Buy carries Marvel Legends and Black Series and stuff like that.
Yes, they do.
So it's like we're kind of traditionally accustomed to it's Walmart, Kmart, Toys R Us, Target. Like that's it. Like those are the only ones that we were ever. But now it's you got GameStop, you got Best Buy, you got Walgreens, you got all these other just kind of odds and ends little places that even especially the 40-year-old crowd, but even the 25 to 30-year-old crowd that I'm a part of, we don't take into account that. We're not used to seeing, like, we didn't grow up with toys, and associating them with Walgreens and Best Buy and GameStop. We associated video games with Best Buy and GameStop, and we associated like shitty snacks and medicine from Walgreens. So, or getting your photos developed, like that. Like that was it.
But like, what's a photo? What kind of photo?
Like I think a photograph, like a digital. How would you develop a digital? What would you have to do? So, but like I think like the thing that you can do to avoid all this shit is just order it online. Like now you've got Pulse, you've got Amazon, you've got Entertainment Earth, you've got Big Bad Toy Store. Like just to name a few that are going to carry literally everything. If you're into Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, like those are the spots to hit. And you order them, and then you just wait, and like you'll get that, like you'll get it at some point in the next week or what have you, and you're good to go.
I think Chris says he lives just south of St. Louis. Another thing was I was out for Triple Force Friday. I'm assuming he's at Target. No cashiers. You had to do self-checkout. I was watching.
I prefer that.
Well, check this out. A bunch of people were ringing up half their stuff and walking out with the rest of it.
Oh, wow. So that's
you can get around that shit. No one watching.
Well, that's the thing. Like usually these places will have someone at self checkout that's paying attention because there's only like anywhere from 4 to 6 kiosks,
Right.
And like I don't know. I don't know if it's because like I don't know if it's always because like I've been just me personally. I've been on the up and up. Like I'm not about to catch a charge over some $20 bullshit. So to me, I'm just gonna like I prefer self checkout because I don't like dealing with people, and I can not I can get my shit and not have to interact with anybody, and it's wonderful. Like that's why I use self checkout. Like anytime self checkout is down, I like there's been a time, dude. Whenever I work nights, I went to Walmart to like buy some food to cook, and I walked in, self checkout was up. By the time I got my stuff to come back to check out, they had closed it to like clean the floors. I pretty much just grabbed one of the buggies and set all the stuff in the buggy and walked out. And just like I think I came home and ate some sandwiches or something. But like if it forced me to go to one of the two open people with the 30 deep lines, like no, I'm out.
Oh, screw that shit.
Or even if it's just like anywhere for like 3 to 5 people ahead of me, I'm out. No, just let me do self checkout. I can do it at my speed. I can I don't have to I don't have to be polite and humane because it's a fucking machine, right? Like you don't have to be polite to the machine. They're gonna take over anyways. Just get your shots in now. So, I love self checkout.
Well, I thought when you were talking about, or when we were talking about getting stuff on street dates, and I'm guilty of it, is that you want it when you know it's released. You want it in hand that minute, that hour, that day. And I'm guilty of that to a degree on certain things. It's kind of like tomorrow. I'll get up and carry my big ass down Target, be there at 8 o'clock before they open, and hopefully get the Joker set I want. It's kind of like I was watching some chats on some other fan pages I'm on for Pops. And remember I told you about that Iron Man gauntlet one? Remember you kept saying how I want a Marvel Legends that has
the sparkle hands.
Sparkle hands. And I said, well, Funko Pop made one and Marvel Legends still hasn't.
Yeah. But I still can't believe, man. I honestly would have thought with that Iron Man that was coming out, I think like in the next wave, like I thought like maybe it'd have like the hand hidden behind something, but
I guess not. So I've been waiting, it was Amazon exclusive. And I'm like, cool, great, I can get it now. And it went up like, what day was it? Thursday, Friday? Yesterday or the day before that. And I was on my way to go get us some lunch. And I have my Amazon set up to do a one-click buy. And I was on there and I clicked it and I thought I had bought it. Then I looked through my orders and I didn't see it. So I ordered it regularly. Then an hour later, I went back on Amazon looking at my orders. I had ordered 2 of them.
Oh, and wow.
I'll go in there and cancel one of them. Then, I bullshit you not. Before I did it, I was looking up seeing what they were going for on eBay just to see, maybe I could make some money. Bullshit you not. I'll have to find the link and send it to you. One guy has his listed up on eBay that he got at New York Comic Con for $800.
Oh, wow.
$15 pop, $800.
Yeah, and I'm guessing they're sold out on Amazon now.
They are sold out on Amazon, and the earliest you can get them, they said delivery in 1 to 3 months. Even that's if they restock them. Then,
right. So
I looked through eBay some more. Now there are a couple that have sold in the high hundreds. What was it, 8 or 125 and 135. And I looked it up on the Funko app that has the price guide on it, and it books over $100 already. It just came out.
That's nuts. That's so crazy, man. Like, I wish I had the time and the energy to really just devote to like flipping pops. I used to do that with figure arts. Like, I'd grab some Dragon Ball Z figure art. The deal with the Dragon Ball Z figure arts, though, and I think just figure arts in general, with the exception of a few, like there's a couple that sell out instantly, and I think some of that's through like P Bandai or whatever. But like I would buy them, and some of them I would open and enjoy. Some of them I would just keep in the box, and I would sit on them for 6 months because usually about 3 or 4 months after I got them, they would be out of stock, and then people would start paying top dollar. And so like these $40, $40 to $80 figure arts that I bought, people were spending $200 to $300 on them, and like that's when I would sell them. Like as much as I like Dragon Ball Z, and I think it makes for a cool display shelf. I didn't like it enough to pass up a $100 plus profit. And especially whenever I knew like another thing with Figuarts is they reissue them, they re-release them. It happens all the time. There may be some kind of small color difference, or there may be something else, but usually they re-release them and they become super cheap. And I'm like, well, if I just want it, I'll wait for the re-release, and that's what I do, or that's what I did.
Right.
But I just don't just to stay on top of that. I just don't have that kind of energy.
I checked the numbers again. We're 107. We were at 107.
Wow, 17 orders since we started.
Yeah, it's actually. I mean, I think it got to the point to where people are like, we're not going to do it unless we know it's going to fund, because there was the talks of it. They do charge you on their regular order, not charge you, but they do put an authorization for like 24 hours. But you said that when you did it, they did not authorize a charge. Is that right?
No. For me personally, whenever I did it, so I put my order in and I expected a 24-hour hold, but it was almost instantaneous. I went to check my account and it showed the minus 620 plus 620, like one right on top of the other. So they do that just to make sure they can, I think it depends on like whatever card you have. And like, I didn't put it on a credit card. It's coming out of my bank account. I put it on my bank card. So maybe because like it was just I guess with a debit account, it's just a quicker transaction. And typically most credit card issuers and accounts, like they require a full 24-hour period before they get it back to you. That's what happened with me. But there's something else I think we need to like also take into account. According to the owner of Chosen Prime, he puts his in last. His goes in last. Not just his, but his and Big Bad Toy Store and Toy Dojo, TF Source, so on and so forth. Theirs are not even accounted for yet.
So
it's made.
They put theirs in before
no.
Or after?
They put theirs in, I believe. I think their orders will go in, like let's just say at some point at the end. On the last day. We're not even on the last day. If I had to guess, their orders go in maybe within the last hour stretch, something to where they can all be placed and accounted for comfortably. And I'm sure, a lot of these places, they're going to order a few extra, just to have some extra to sell, or, whatever they got to do with it. So, I think like just between those four retailers, and that's just US. Like we have no idea. Like I know there's that other spot in the UK that's doing a similar thing, and then like, but we don't know like who else like in China or Australia is doing the very similar thing. Granted, I think China, I think UK, China, and Australia and Japan, I think theirs have ended already. So that may be somewhere that at. But between four retailers, I guarantee you there's more than 100 units. Guarantee you.
Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta say this real quick. I looked on Twitter for a second. Someone took a picture of the Lego White House at the mall in Washington, D.C., and it has a Donald Trump on the White House up on the top. Mm-hmm. Guess what?
What happened?
He's in handcuffs.
Oh my God.
That's actually funny.
That's pretty funny. I
think that's funny.
So yeah, dude, like it's getting made. Like it's definitely getting made.
It's going to get made, and like I said, I still to this day believe if they had not extended it, it wasn't going to get made. I think they extended it because they knew it wasn't going to get made.
I think to a degree, maybe, but here's the deal, man. After they extended it, we saw it level out and fluctuate, like back and forth. Like we saw how it leveled out, and then it would drop, and then it would come back, and then it would drop, and then it would come back. It's done that, dude, for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah, it'd go up so many, and then it was like the 7,000 mark, it would go up over 1,000, then it go back down about 10.
Right, or it's even prior to that 7,000 mark, dude. It would travel up a little bit, and then it would drop by like 14 to 20. Then it would come up a little bit, drop by 7, come back up, and like I remember, dude, there for a while, I was like, well, at least I'll have something to, I'll have another $600 left over I didn't account for. But now like I'm looking at it, I'm looking at that money like it's already gone. Like that's just how I'm seeing it. But like I don't, man, like I'm excited for it, dude. Like, but a friend of mine was like, do you think that like how fudge do you think the numbers are? And I was like, not really. I know a lot of people like that's the big conspiracy, right? Is to talk about the fudge numbers. It's like, is it U.S. election numbers, or is it like a box of toothpick numbers? My buddy Jed from Blackout and Shout said that, and I was like, I think it's more or less like a box of hard taco shells count. Sometimes I've gotten a box with 18. Most of the times I get a box with 18. Sometimes I get the box that has 17. Very rarely I'll get the box that has 19, right? So that's the kind of analogy that I use. Like I think if there's any level of fudging to that effect, I think that's about the most of it. But then he brought up another good point. He was like, well, do you think they've been holding on to these numbers and just kind of trickling them out to build suspense? Because like how fitting that, in the last, 72 hours it gets funded. Right.
Right.
But, and that's entirely possible. It's entirely possible that they knew they were sitting on 7,000 before they knew. And like, whenever we got the last big 1,000 number push, that was the bulk of the second batch of international orders. The first time we got that kind of a big push, that was international, and then it leveled off. Then we got the next kind of international push, and now like I think we probably just got the last remnants trickle in from international tonight, and then tomorrow, we'll see it go through. So now, what do you think? What do you think the final number is going to be?
If they haven't included BBTS, Chosen Prime, and any other one, I will put it at, I'm going to say 9. You'll end up with 9.
Really?
Yep.
See, that's what I was thinking too. A lot of people are, talking to me crazy, like looking at me crazy when I say, yeah, I think maybe these retailers probably have anywhere from 200 to 300 a piece that they're going to be putting on order. Because there's a lot of people like our boy Dalton, he put in his order through one of the other retailers because it's just easier for him to drop a 175 and then just pay it off periodically. And I get that. So there's a lot of people like that can do that.
Man,
that can't just drop the full 620 in one go.
Man, I think all that time he spends on the couch, he'd drop it all at one time.
Yeah, you never know. But
102. So, we're at 102.
That's crazy. I can understand, like again, I can understand the thought of doing that. And it's like, it's even if you have it, like I've got it, and I still looked at it like, well, do I really want to just tie up $600 like this, like right now? For it's easier to tie up 150 or 175 than it is 600. Because you're not going to see it forever. But I started looking at the long picture, and I know once these things start to ship out, I'm going to want mine as quick as possible. And no matter what you say about these other retailers, like, yeah, they can ship quick and all that, but I don't want to wait. I don't want to be the one sitting there while all the regular backers got their shit in, and I'm like, I got my thumb up my ass waiting on my order to come in from a retailer.
And you're right, that will happen. What will happen is that I'm sure Pulse is going to send, let's say, 500 to BBTS. Then once they get those in, then they're going to repackage them or do whatever they got to do, and then they're going to send them out. So you're probably
right. Like they'll probably I mean, they'll have to slap their own labels on it. And, maybe they want to put it in another box because a lot of people like to have that shipper box be in good condition. So I don't want to they're gonna pack something secret in there that we're not gonna find out till we open it. I don't want to be the douchebag like surfing the internet that finds out that's like I want to be the douchebag that actually gets surprised, right? Like I don't want to know about it and then like okay, like I want to feel that surprise like in person.
Right.
But so I don't know, man. But like me personally, like you said 9. I was also thinking about 9. But a lot of my like friends that I talk to about it, they're like, take like just consider, if say Big Bad ordered 300 of these, that's what was it, 15 grand?
Yeah.
Or 150? What is that? Hang on.
It's not 1,500.
It's not 50. Yeah, it's not 1,500. So let's just say it's 600 times 300. It's 180 grand. I'm sorry. I knew 18 grand didn't sound right. So they were like, you really think that Big Bad Toy Store or Chosen Prime or what have you just has 180,000 they can drop like that? I said, absolutely. Like, I'm not going to say who it was or who even told me the story about it, but even one of the smaller retailers, like their profit margin, I think, is probably, let's just say it's probably around 30%. And they had $1 million in pre-orders for a month, like in just this one given month. And granted, it was before, so they had that essentially in the bank before they placed their order. But even after they placed their order, they're still sitting on 300 grand of profit. Like, that's how you can tie up 180 grand, and you don't bat an eye at it. On top of that 180 grand is going to make you, let's see, what are they marking it up? Is it 200 over? Or is it 150 over? I can't remember.
Chosen Prime was 175.
Over retail though.
Let me look it up real quick.
I think it was 150 over altogether.
BBTS has it for 775.
Okay, so it's yeah, because mine was 620, so theirs is pretty much $150 over. So let's multiply that by 300, and on top of that 180 grand, they just made a $45,000 profit if they ordered, 300 of them.
So basically, you're paying that extra $155 for just using their services in their.
You're essentially just paying the interest on their credit card, so to speak. That's all you're doing. You're just paying credit card interest. Granted, there's a lot of people that don't have credit cards because they don't have credit or they have bad credit or whatever. But that's it. That's $150. If you stretch that $600 out, honestly, if you stretch that $600 out over 18 months, you're going to be paying a lot more than $150. But that's an economics lesson for another time, I think.
BBTS is not offering a package grading, so
yeah.
Certain, so I can see them slapping a label on it and shipping it right back out.
Yeah, but it's still going to take time, especially like in the event they do order 300. How long is it going to take for them to slap labels on 300 of those? And, is it going to add to someone's pile of loot? Does that person have to decide to ship it out immediately? Like, what are they going to do? And then on top of that, even like, I don't think they're going to be able to do the $4 shipping rate. So are they going to pay real shipping? Is Big Bad going to try to cut them some slack, a discount, what have you? Like, so many variables there, man. It's not worth dealing with,
Let me see. I'm running through BBTS right now. Let me see if they say anything about shipping. Bullshit. $4.
Really? So like I said, man, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if they were going to offer that. So,
FedEx ground for $80.
Okay, which the flat rate kind of that $4 flat rate is basically FedEx ground, but they hand it off to the post office and it's a lot slower and whatever. So that still isn't bad.
Yeah.
All things considered. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's interesting, right?
And then of course BBTS charges taxes.
Depending on what state you're in. Like for me, they wouldn't hit me with taxes. Not yet, at least, but that could change. That could change in the first quarter of 2021, right?
Man, Yeah, because they want to charge $73 in taxes.
Yeah, so
makes it $852.45.
If you're in Arkansas, granted, like you could also look at, the other spots that are offering it and figure out which is best for you, and that's all well and good. But yeah, man, I don't. I think it'll probably be at or maybe a little over 9,000 altogether. I'm definitely curious to see what the final number would be. And I think it would be interesting. And part of me feels like the reason they set the bar so high is I feel like, I don't know John Warden, right? But he seems like the kind of dude that just wants to rub it in his colleagues' faces. Like, yeah, during my tenure, I made something that outsold a Star Wars, backing. Now, if you look at the percentages, there's no way that Unicron is going to do 175% over its backing goal. But as far as units sold, to sell more Unicrons than you did sail barges, like that's a feat. And I think that's something he could use as like a bragging right at some point. Either in the office or on a resume or what have you. He would have that opportunity. That's the feeling I get for it. I don't feel like 8,000 is a minimum to have something this big made when we saw the barge only needed 5,000. So.
All right. Well, we've been rambling for an hour, so I guess we'll cut on out of here for the night.
That works.
Tell people where they can find you at and your video for your the third-party Dragon.
Oh, you can find me everywhere at Primal Sabbath, the video review. I got a video review and a transformation video on my channel. It should be the third and fourth video, respectively, because I think I've had 2 videos come out since then. You can also check out a written review on my Facebook page at facebook.com/Primal Sabbath, and we've shared my review, Ben's Collectibles review, and my written review and all that other stuff on Stasis Lock's Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Beast Wars. And you can join the Beast Wars Society, Buy, Sell, Trade, and Discussion group on Facebook. So there's that.
If your name is Michael Lauber or whatever, then we're not going to
Yeah, he's in
Mike episode number 6, talking about dickheads on the internet.
He sent me a friend request. I was like, oh.
Shut up. Did he really?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
All right, we'll talk about it. But let me get off here. You can find me everywhere as Angry Mike. Thanks for tuning in to the ever how many will watch this. I do appreciate people who do take time to actually listen to us ramble on. So thanks for checking us out, guys.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.